Greetings, family. Welcome to another one of your Frank 26 YouTube videos. It's good to be with you again. It is the 4th of October 2019, and we are here gathered together to study the Iraqi dinar. Before we start, it is always extremely important that we tell you that this is a speculative investment. There is no date to be offered. There are no rates to be offered. So, now that we've established the ground rule, we move forward. It's good to be with everyone, and God bless you all. Yesterday, we started to talk about the ramifications, the consequences of what is happening inside of Iraq right now. In the sense that one would question, one would ask themselves, naturally, it's a natural question. This mess that's going on inside of Iraq. It's interesting how there's such great prosperity in Iraq. Security. The T-walls are down. Beautiful 5-star restaurants, hotels, It's an amazing place compared to what it used to be. But the media has never covered that. If you ever seen a story, well, pardon me, I'm sorry. The media has not covered it very much. I have seen one. There might have been 2 clips that explained that Iraq is going through a growth, an economic growth. They could also, at the same time, put the articles that we have in our final article thread to show that they're going through a monetary reform as well. So you would ask yourself, the things that we are seeing from the media, the things that we're seeing in the articles, in our study, is showing us that right now there's a lot of disarray. There's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of anger in Iraq. And what it is the citizens that have gathered together by the leadership of the holy man in Iraq, and they are protesting to the Iraqi government. Now, here's the problem. The Iraqi government is made up mainly of Iranians. Who is it that is leading them? Who is it that is leading the citizens of Iraq to protest against a government that consists of mainly Iranians? He hung up. That was Angel One. He had a report from the banks, but he knows that I'm on right now, so he just hung up. He doesn't want. Anyway, so what was my question? What did I ask? I forgot.
Who's the one?
I'm sorry, Jen. What?
Who's the one that the influence?
Hold on. I am on my YouTube right now. I don't have you on speaker. Is it something important? Right this very second, they can probably hear you in the background. If I don't, it'll be tomorrow, but we'll talk. Thank you. Bye-bye. So my question to you was, oh no, it wasn't a question. My statement to you was, isn't it natural to ask this stuff we're seeing in Iraq that the media is publicizing big time? but never publicize the good stuff. You see what is important to the media? Do you see what sells for the media? Oh, by the way, did you hear? Where is that? Do I have it? Yeah, I think I have it. I gotta show this. No, do you know where it's at, Tink?
The email?
The one about
The email, yeah, I think you took a picture of it.
a picture of it? Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I go through a lot every day. Praise God, I think it's coming to an end. But I want to show you something that I got. You all know that I've been coughing a little bit, just last 2 weeks, whatever it was in the air. A lot of you got it. And here's an individual that, well, you read it. So I went back to my UB2B from last night, and I was wondering, what is she talking about? So I listened, and 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 it was at the 1 hour and 7 minute mark where I actually went, and then I did it 2 more times. Can you imagine? I'm probably turning her stomach right now. I've been an athlete all my life, ma'am. All my life. You know what a snot rocket is? You see, athletes, we're breathing fast in whatever it is we do. For me now, it's martial arts. My wife and I, for us, we work out. And when you're breathing heavy, to take in all this air, you do a snot rocket every now and then. What you do is you cover up your nostril and you just blow out of the other nostril and everything comes out. Anyways, I couldn't believe that somebody actually sent me that. Really? Do you wonder why So the statement is, Frank 26, shouldn't we be a little bit concerned about what's going on in the streets of Iraq? And I said, no. Who's in the streets? The citizens? Who are they protesting against? The government? Did you know that they're also protesting against somebody else? What? What? The government. Almighty? No, besides the government. No. Today, they rallied against their leader. Their leader. You mean the holy man? Yeah. What do you mean they rallied against the holy man? The holy man is the guy that took them out to the streets to protest against the government. Yes. And you asked me, should you be worried about the monetary reform? Yeah. And my answer is no. The reason why is because the citizens are protesting against the government, not against the Central Bank of Iraq. Do you see the citizens throwing rocks, screaming at the CBI or any of their private banks? Do you see them in front of the green zone where the CBI is at? So in my opinion, ladies and gentlemen, you have to set your thinking on logic. Because, let me show you something. I've been telling you that there would be a pause, and it was from the Iranian influence. We said that maybe Saudi Arabia, what Iran did, could bring the pause, but it really wasn't much of a pause, and it moves forward. And we told you what Allah did on Monday, Tuesday, Then we showed you those armored trucks, and then we proved it to you by giving you the article, even though I was mocked. So, you have the people that are angry about a pause. You don't think that they don't, I mean, the governor tells the citizens, I'm going to do this. Here's, I'm bringing the lower DNOMs. They don't have any problems with the CBI. They have problems with the GOI. And it seems like Iraq just can't win. They're out there in the streets, not protesting against the CBI, not against the monetary reform. They got a good relationship with the banks. They're protesting against Iran. Iran, over there, their neighbor who has infiltrated their government. So they go to the government and they tell the leader of the government, the Prime Minister, Mahdi, wipe out the government completely and replace everyone right now. That's our demand. Mahdi is what? Iranian. What do you think that Mahdi would say to something like that? What do you think that Mahdi is saying to the citizens right now? The citizens are saying to Mahdi, remove your government, remove the whole freaking government and replace everyone. We got a backup government. Remember we talked about that? Our finance minister is Dr. Shabibi. He's ready to go. Now, what do you think that Mahdi said or would say to the citizens when they tell him, wipe out this government and replace it? What do you think? Mahdi is procrastinating. Why is he procrastinating? It really doesn't matter. They elected him. They did not elect him, George. He was put in there by the United States of America. They elected a body. They didn't even elect a body. They actually elected the holy man. We put in a body. I see your answers. It seems like the citizens of Iraq just can't win. When they go to the government to tell the government that is Iranian to go home, go away, they tell the leader of the government, the Prime Minister, Mahdi, please, sir, tell them to go away. In fact, you too, Mahdi, pack up your bags and leave. Iranians, go home. Mahdi, Iranian, go home. Oh, wait a minute. We're not done yet. We're being treated like imbeciles. Who's leading us? The holy man. What is the holy man's background? The holy man's background? Yeah, what's the holy man's background? He's Iranian. I'm trying to look something up here for you, family. Yeah, it'll take me forever. There's so many notes in here. So, yeah, really? He's Iranian? Yeah, he's Iranian born. He's a Shiite based in Iraq for many years. Good God Almighty. The citizens that want economic reform but can't get it because the government that gives them the jobs is giving it to all the Iranians. And the whole country of Iraq is unemployed because of the mafioso style. So they complain to the government, but then They don't want to go. So they complain to the prime minister. And the prime minister, Mahdi, says, I ain't going nowhere. They're all Iranian influenced. They're all Iranian supporters. Then you look at who took him there to protest, the holy man, and it turns out he's Iranian. So, what do what do the citizens do? They seek better leadership. They seek better leadership. Today is Friday, and on Fridays, what I do is I talk to you for a little bit here in our YouTube, my UB2B. And then I go to my forum, don't I? At ktfalways.com. ktfalways.com. That's my forum. Inside my forum, there's something called Premium. And I go into my forum on Fridays and I talk to them. And what we talk about in Premium, we usually leave it inside of Premium. And what I'd like to do right now is show me how many Premium members are with us right now. Would you please just simply say hi or aloha or, it's me or whatever. I'd like to see how many Premium members are with us right now on our YouTube channel. Go ahead and fire away. Well, that's a few hundred already. Okay. All right, here's what I want to ask. You that are Premium members, you deserve to have your information given to you the way I give it to you privately in our chat room on Fridays. You pay $10 a month. I appreciate that. That's what supports me and my wife. That's what allows us to continue to do what we do on the internet. I never ask for donations. I never ask for financial help. I work to earn a living. For those of you that are in oh, good God, it's almost everybody. How would you feel? Because we did it the last 2 Fridays. No, last Friday I went in there privately with you, remember? How would you feel if I brought our Premium that we would normally do? What if I did it in here right now? Would you be upset with that, or would you rather I go into Premium and talk to you privately in there? Now, for the rest of you, you're saying, oh, well, gee whiz, he's going to go talk to them privately. He's not going to share with us what he's got. No, that's not how we do it. No. You see, on Fridays, I talk to them privately, and I give them the extra information because they deserve it. But then 3 days later, on Monday, when we have our conference call, I share it again. I rehash it again and everyone hears it. No one's left out. There's no favoritism. There's no prejudice, attitudes here. So what do you think, Tinkar? What are they saying?
Only one person said no, they wanted to keep it private.
Only one?
That's awesome.
Well, that one person that said no, with your permission, that's what, about 1,000 people we already have here. Yeah.
There's no
And
trolls in the Premium, that's why.
there's no trolls in Premium? Don't worry. Our quick draw McGraw here. Is Rami with us? You get him, Rami. Is who else? You, and who else is helping? Oh, Claire. Is Claire with us? No worries. We got the 3 pistoleros here. They'll take care of people. But look you keep on saying it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. I thank you. Now, here's what I'm going to do. Here's what we're going to do, Premium, okay? Let's stay here and let's talk because, dear me, we have to talk. in my opinion. And then when we're done with premium, I'm going to give Tink my transcript between me, Neil, and O'Day, our Firefly 77. By the way, O'Day is his Arabic name. His English name is Eddie, and we labeled him as Firefly 77. Anyways, and what we'll do is we'll type the whole thing up and we'll put it in chat, premium, a premium chat, and it'll go in the archives and you'll have it. Does that sound good? Okay. Here we go. By the way, if you're interested, ktfalways.com is my form. That's our landing page. So when you land there, look on top, I think it says login or the form or whatever. When you click on it, it wants 3 pieces of information. A username. Call yourself something polite, okay? A password, that's between you and the computer. And an email. That's it. Then you hit enter. But you got to wait 24 hours. A lot of people don't read everything. And they try to get in right away with the username and password, and it blows it all up for them. Now they call us, and we got to help them. And if I don't help them, we're the rudest people in the world. Because they made a mistake, and they demand that we fix it for them. So go to ktfalways.com, look up there, and put those 3 pieces of information, hit enter, wait 24 hours. Why do you have to wait 24 hours? Because we want a proper name. If we just let everybody in with their usernames, you would be disgusted. And also, the other 3 pieces of information, your email. We have received hundreds upon hundreds, maybe thousands of spammers in our website. So that's why we wait 24 hours, and our staff clears you, and then they send you an email, and they tell you, hi, come on in to ktfalways.com. And look for my thread. My thread is called Frank26 Daily Post. Click on it and come on in and look for the date. Oh, there's today's date. Click on it and you see all the pages of today's thread. Okay? My name is Frank. My phone number is 419-283-2552. 419-283-2552. If I can help you to be a member of our forum, come on in. Come give me a call. Inside of our forum, there is something called Team Chat, the premium that I'm talking about. And it's $10 a month. Don't call now. And it's $10 a month. But that's something that you can decide when you come in. In the meantime, here we go. Let's talk. It's 7:30 right now. I'm going to do my very best to finish in 1 hour. Not. No, but I'm going to try my best, though. I'm going to try my best to do it. So, did you understand my introduction? Once again, everything is my opinion. There's no date and there's no rate. But did you understand my introduction to you? Ladies and gentlemen, the Iraqi citizens are fighting a battle right now. In fact, you know what? They're fighting a war. Yeah. And it doesn't even need the army. It doesn't need the Peshmerga army. It doesn't need the coalition troops. The Iraqi citizens are in a war against Iran. Granted, they've been in a war ever since the Shah of Iran died. I mean, all hell broke loose after that, and we backed off. And what Obama did in his 8 years, oh my God, he sold the soul of the United States of America. And it's a mess. So the citizens of Iraq are desperately trying to get rid of this cancer, this tumor called Iran. They know they don't have any jobs. They know that where their jobs go. Hold on, one of our fireflies is reporting. do you know if he is accepted by the people? What was I saying? Oh, dear God. Can somebody help me? War, thank you. Iraq citizens are literally in a war with Iran. Now, granted, it's been that way forever. Ever since the Shah died, the Shah of Iran, everything has gone to heck. And even with what our president Obama did in his 8 years, it really got even worse. Iran simply spread its tentacles of venom outward and started to kill anything that it could. And Iraq, right next to them, was the easiest one because they already had evil there by the name of Saddam. But when Saddam Hussein was removed, Maliki came in. Well, you know the rest of the story. So the citizens right now are fighting for their lives because I can't even tell you the number of citizens that have been killed. Not by the Iraqi police, the Iraqi military. No, by the Iranians. And yesterday we showed you a video and you saw the young Iraqis that were saying, they're talking to us in Farsi in the language of Iran as they shoot at us. And that's why there's a lot of anger. And to the point where today, this whole cause, in my opinion, to the point where today the citizens not only vented their anger against the government, but when the holy man told the citizens time to stop it, they said, up yours. Stop this. You liar. You're just as much as a liar as all the... Wait, hey, I'm the holy man. Yeah, holy cow. I tell you, where you live? What? Where you live? You know where I live. I'm the holy man. You better go home because we're going to surround your home. So the citizens of Iraq are at the point where they're not putting on a helmet. They're not bringing out their rifles. They're not a militia force, but what they are is scared human beings. And if there's nothing else left, then you give up your life for the next generation. I'm angry because we have a government in the United States of America that put Iraq where it's at and put Iran where it's at right now. I'm angry because all this garbage could have been over and done with a long time ago if it wasn't for a horrible president by the name Abomination. I'm angry because people are dying for no reason. I'm angry because because friends, are in harm's way, and I don't like it. And the hypocrisy of the Democrats and what they're doing right now is nothing more but an extension of what Obama and Clinton and Hillary Clinton did. I'm just like the Iraqi citizens. I'm fed up. I want the same thing that they do. The same thing. I prayed for their economic growth yesterday with you. I prayed for their monetary reform with you yesterday. It's the same thing they want. It sincerely and truly, internally hurts me. I told God yesterday in the prayer that we were having together, God, it takes a lot of good just just to get rid of a little bit of evil. And we need help because there's too much evil. And right now, it is really, really percolating in Iraq, in Iran. Iran is angry, jealous. I know another group of people on this side of the border with the same attitude. And what's interesting is that they both seem to want the same thing, to destroy the leadership of the United States of America. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? We fight the enemy abroad, and yet the enemy is in front of us in our own government. I ain't never seen 3 years go to waste by the opposition party that lost the presidential election. Never. Oh yeah, you got debates, you got angry, accusements, accusations, you got filibusters that waste time. But this is a sickness. It's a disease. That was the party that told me, hey, you can't pray. What? Try to stop me. Hey, you can't display the flag. What? Hey, it can't say, in God we trust. Take that off of that. What? Are you serious? Yeah, we need to be equal. We need to be fair with everybody. Everybody wants what we got. No, they want what I'm bringing in because they voted for me. Because they were looking for something different. You're black. You're different. You're good looking. You're suave. You're sharp. But you were a fake. Why do you think they voted for Trump? Because he's different. He's a nut. It turned out to be a good nut. Get back on track. So, the citizens are in a war, trying to survive against Iran. And the United States of America and Donald Trump, the same thing. And you and me, pretty much the same thing. You get rid of Iran's influence, you got an RI. Boom. I told you, there's a pause. I don't want it. I don't like it. But I want you to also understand this. These are two separate entities, and you know this. The government of Iraq may be one thing. Iranian influence and stealing the money from the CBI. Okay. Then we go over to the CBI. Is there any Iranian influence there? No. Do you see the citizens protesting against the CBI? No. Okay. Then the problem lies in the government of Iraq. It lies in the influence of Iran being there. That is correct. And that would be not only the government and not only Mahdi, but the holy man and every Iranian influence. That is correct. Wow. So while the citizens are doing this with the government, what is the CBI doing? Well, on Monday, Alak comes out and he... Wait a minute, time out. What's wrong? Monday, Alak comes out? Yeah. All right, that makes sense. On Tuesday, because you see, Monday was what? What was Monday, Jen? The 30th?
30th.
That was his last day at work! Light bulbs? Are light bulbs coming on? Monday, Alak. What? Go home. No. You got a job, man. Go up to the Arab League. No. I want to tell him. Dude, we're having a protest. I want to tell him. Tell him. Hey, guys. Remember the lower D-nows? We're bringing them out now. That's me, Alak. The governor of the Central Bank of Iraq. And then the next day, on October the 1st, he was not. So the Central Bank of Iraq comes out and they say to the citizens, look, what? You see these trucks? Yeah. They're 12 armored trucks and we're moving funds. We're moving money. From where? From the CBI. But the CBI, isn't that in the green zone? Yeah. Isn't that the highest secured place in the world? Yeah. Why are you moving them out of there? Not going to tell you why. What you want to tell me? CBI. We're moving funds, money, in 12 armored trucks from the Central Bank of Iraq in the green zone to an unknown destination. Okay. And the riot, got worse and worse yesterday and into today, worse and worse. And while that's going on, what happened to a lock? I asked you yesterday, hey, where's a lock? I ask you again today, where's a lock? Are they paying attention? Okay. So where's a lock? And I suggested to you, well, he's got a lot of inventory to deal with. If those trucks have lower denoms, well, then they might be distributing them to certain banks. And I said to you there were 12 trucks. And someone said, why? I said, how many provinces are there? And someone said, I don't know. And I said, well, let me just suggest 12 provinces. And about 5 minutes later, somebody said, you're wrong. There's 19 provinces. Didn't you hear me say, let me suggest? Did I say to you that there was 12 provinces? Every word is well calculated and measured. Yeah. I'm here for... So, could it be that maybe of the 19 provinces, there's only 12 of those banks qualify for what they're about to do with the CBI and the lower denoms? Could be. All right. So, here's another dilemma. We've got a governor that makes his last appeal to the citizens on the last day of his job. And on the following day, they got a riot. And then on the following day, the CBI, not a lock, the CBI comes out and says, and we showed you the article, it said CBI. Now, where did you see a lock on there? He's gone on to bigger and better things. Question, family, question. Isn't it that the majority of Iraq's monetary reform is going to be electronic? You read the articles. What's their goal? E-dinars. So they bring in the Visas, the MasterCards, E-dinars. Well, if it's electronic, then they can push the button and make it happen. But do you remember that Delta brought us the information about the spreadsheets and said, look, they've been putting money aside to print what? Well, we calculated to be the lower denoms for about 3 or 4 months in a row. The budget allocated the money for it. So these lower denoms, in my opinion, if they're lower denoms, these lower denoms were recently printed. And were recently put under protection in the green zone. So they're ready to go because they have replaced the worn and torn a good majority. They've given them the education. And they're about to introduce the lower denoms. And Their whole banking structure is set up, linked with banks around the world. E-dinars, electronic banking for the citizens. They were moving funds from the CBI, the article said. They're not 3-0 notes. They're not 3-0 notes. You know? Because when the 3-0 notes come in, they don't store them, they burn them. They take account of the serial number, the batch numbers, but then they burn them. They're trying to get rid of the 3 zeros. And go mainly E-dinars. But of course, to get started and give change in the markets, 250, 500, 1,000, and the 1, the 5, the 10, and so forth. Therefore, what they moved out from the green zone, from the CBI, in these 12 armored trucks, in my opinion, have to be the lower denominations. I don't have any proof for it. Only the logic and the sequence of what I just gave you right now. I'll also tell you this. You ready? In my opinion, a little over 2 years ago, I told you yesterday, in my opinion, these lower denoms, not the ones that were put in the green zone at the CBI and recently printed, but these over here. You see, the ones that they recently printed, that was the 250, 500, 1,000 to replace the worn and torn. Yeah, okay, makes sense. But these that are over here on the east coast of the United States, they were printed a long time ago by De La Rue. They were commissioned by the IMF to do it back in 2003, distributed in 2004. Those were the 3-0 notes. Plus, I believe, the 1, the 5, the 10, the next generation. But in the country, they had to print the ones that were worn and torn so they could replace them, And once that was done, but it was actually about over 2 years ago that they came over, and they've been in the green zone, in my opinion. The rest of the lower denoms that, in my opinion, were put in these trucks. Now, you could say that it's because the danger. Look at the protesting. No, but you could say that if you want to use that. No. What other reason would there be? To move, not 3-0 notes, because, we've already kind of eliminated that. Where's the logic in moving worthless stuff, right? They burn them. Coins? Nah. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, lower denoms. And to see the governor of the central bank want to brag about it before he was kicked out, well, makes me think an awful lot about that. So where's Mahdi? In the government buildings. Where's the holy man? In his home. And where's Alak? Got himself a new job. Is he working on the inventory and distributing all of these dinars? I'd like to share something else with you. In my opinion, when these 12 trucks left yesterday, they said they were full of money and that they were going to an unknown destination. So the full of money, process of elimination logic has led me to the point where it's got to be the lower denoms, and then you protect them. I said that was the highest top secret possible. And they moved them because of protesters? No, I think they moved them because it's time. I mean, just a few days before that, the last day of work for Alak, what does he say? Are you here? They're coming out now for you guys. Okay, all right. Dang. So yeah, logic says move them. May I share this with you, that in my opinion, when they were moved, the 12 armored trucks, and went outward out of Baghdad, in my opinion, may I say that they arrived at a place where there would be more protection for them. May I suggest that wherever their destination was, that's where they got there. And they reconned. They waited for further orders. Now those 12 trucks, if they went to a place where they could be protected, and the only place I can think of is like the Green Zone. Oh, we have other bases, don't we? So, yeah, let's go. And if they put them at another base, the question then with me and my teams is, are they there? Or did they move on to other destinations? So our teams say there are no trucks. What? There are no trucks. There isn't a single truck there no more. They're all gone. But we don't know if they took the money with them or they left it. Okay, well, we back off and we wait until there's more information that comes out. And that would be my opinion. None of this is a fact. None of this is true. None of this is real. This is just my fictitious imagination. It's a logic process. And I took you right from the very beginning of why they moved them, where they moved, where they had originally come from and why they moved them. And then the evidence that we don't know if they're still there or if they moved on. So, who knows? But it is interesting that the timing of so many things. You know, who told them to do all these things this way? You know, I always wondered why Kim Clement, when I asked him, sir, would you come? I always wondered why he came to KTFA and talked to us. You know, and gave us what the Spirit was telling him about the Iraqi dinar. I always wondered why he came to us and no other guru. I felt a sincere responsibility just because of that. So, ladies and gentlemen, we said that yesterday, in my opinion, that today the holy man would come out and tell the citizens, hey, sit down. No more fighting. And then I said that the next day, mañana, tomorrow, Saturday, that this holy man would meet with the government. And then I said that maybe by Sunday, I would have to pull out my trump card and move our time frame into the beginning of next week. Well, it turns out that so far today, all of you be quiet, you know, I'm the holy man. Yeah, that's what he did, but there's more. Tomorrow, the holy man is going to meet with the government and to deal with what the citizens want, a new government. Yep, that's what happened. That's what he said today. So they're going to meet tomorrow. And Sunday, will I use my trump card? I won't know until Sunday. Well, I mean, there's no doubt that Mahdi is, Iraq's prime minister, Mahdi. He is Iran's puppet. But, ladies and gentlemen, think about what I'm about to tell you. It's not about the reinstatement. You know, what Iran is doing in the government of Iraq. It's not about the reinstatement. Oh, but Frank, it's Iranian influence that's stopping. You said get rid of Iran, and we got the RI. Listen, what Iran is doing in the government of Iraq is trying to seize power. They're not trying to bring forth the reinstatement of the Iraqi dinar. They know that's coming because that's a completely separate entity from what they are doing in the government. Their goal is not to lose their foothold. Do not lose the control that we have of the government of Iraq. Because if we do, how the hell are we going to steal their money? How in the world are we going to be able to grease our palms and do all of our backdoor deals with the laws that supposedly protect them? We abuse them. How? Don't lose the power. Don't get kicked out of the government. Just don't lose the power. Iran, reinstatement of the Iraqi dinar, what we got to do with it? Nothing. It's all the CBI, and they're going to do it. We just can't lose the government of Iraq's the seats. It's not going to be through profit for us. But as always, we will steal their money through the CBI auctions once they reinstate their currency. The government has nothing to do with the reinstatement of the Iraqi dinar. Iran has nothing to do with it. What they're doing, though, is causing a pause, and I'm not happy about that. Does that make sense to you? Do you think we will see the RI within 11 days from now? Jan, all they care about is a date.
No, this is a troublemaker.
Okay. God, give me strength, God, please. I'd like to read you something. I'd like to read you something. Here, let me show it to you before we start to read. You can see the date way down in the bottom. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to read this to you before I read to you Firefly's report tonight. And the reason why I want to do this is because let's a little nostalgic here. Let's go back in time. This is speaking of times. This is from the New York Times, 1991. They are reporting the revaluation of the Kuwait dinar. Now, as I read this, I want you to realize where you are at. I want you to realize where you are at with this study. Here we go. Now, New York Times article from 1991 reporting the revaluation of the Kuwaiti dinar. July 19, 2013, when Iraq invaded Kuwait in August of 1990, the value of the Kuwait dinar dropped to about 5 cents. In other words, it took 20 Kuwait dinars to buy $1. In February of 1991, Iraq was expelled from Kuwait and a month later, the banks revalued their currency to $3.47, the highest valued currency in the world. When this occurred, the New York Times reported the event on March the 25th, 1991. Then here's that article. There's a link in blue. And just a little bit of it, watch this. It still has no water and electricity. This is from the New York Times still. It still has no water. This is right after they revalued their currency. Tell me if this doesn't sound familiar. This country, Kuwait, it still has no water and little electricity or food, but Kuwait revived its banking system today, introducing a new currency. Yeah, so far deja vu. Okay. But banks reopened for the first time since Iraq's occupation forces shut them down in December. Thousands of people lined up to exchange their old Kuwaiti dinars for the crisp new ones and to withdraw a limited amount of money. That's the same process that's going on right now. All other old dinars can be exchanged for new ones on a one-to-one rate until do you understand what I'm doing here? You've been there. You're doing that. All other old dinars can be exchanged for for new ones on a one-to-one rate until May the 7th, when the old dinars become invalid. We talked about that yesterday, too. The new official exchange rate is $3.47 American dollar for one new Kuwait dinar. At the same time, the United Nations put Iraq, excuse me? Oh, you got something to tell me about Iraq? What do you want to tell me about Iraq? This was back in 1991. At the same time, the United Nations put Iraq under trade sanctions, crushing the value of the Iraqi dinar from $3.22 to about 4,000 dinars to $1. Their currency could only be spent in Iraq itself, and people had to carry around wads of 25,000 dinar notes just to buy groceries. That's why they're marching and complaining. That's one of the reasons. Then in 2003, remember 2003? We told you De La Rue was commissioned by the IMF. Okay. And then in 2003, coalition forces invaded Iraq and overthrew Saddam Hussein. Yay. By 2004, that's when I bought my first dinars. By 2004, we gave them a new currency without Saddam's picture on it. The value soon doubled and went up to 2,000 dinars to $1 American dollar. A few years ago, the Central Bank of Iraq managed to stabilize the value at 1166 per dinar. On June 27, 2013, the United Nations removed Iraq from Chapter 7 sanctions, allowing Iraq to regain control, to close to $80 billion in frozen funds that has been sitting in Western banks since 1990. Recalculate. They did. This also allowed Iraq to be reinstated on the world's banking network. Oh, hello. As soon as they are ready, well, they're ready. At the same time, many expected to see the IQD revalue at or near its former position. Well, thank you, New York Times. Yeah, I read this to you, family, because it echoes, today's atmosphere, doesn't it? Today's literally steps that are occurring. Now, the only difference is that when we went in and we liberated Kuwait from Saddam, from Iraq, okay, boom, it happened. And then they revalued right away. Okay, good for them. Here, it's been a chronic situation. And the reason it's become chronic is because of the politics, the Iranian influence, along with the abomination influence. Both of these prolificated Iran to the point where it is now defiant, like a little child. Just wanted to read that to you. Family, these 12 armored trucks, that was a lot of money. I'm not going to look. All you got to do is take measurements. If you know how to do things, and by our estimate, just at lower DNAMs, that's a lot of money. And again, why would you move them? Because of what Allah on his last day as governor said to the citizens of Iraq. Not because you wanted to protect them more. Why bring them out into the areas where there's, danger? Why bring them out there in the open desert? And if it landed at a destination like another secure place like the Green Zone, well, okay. But my question is it still there? Or did they continue distributing them? And I don't know. But this was a very large number. So why would you move such a large number? Why do you move large numbers of troops? An army moves on its stomach, good food, good soldiers. You move a massive, a platoon, a squadron, a division. Movement is for an invasion, like Normandy. This is a large amount of money, along with the fact that there's a large amount of money that's already established and ready to go internationally that is digital. Dinar digital. I remember this Kuwait thing. I even have the videos off of the news. It shows them when they brought in their new currency into Kuwait, for distribution. It also went to the military bases. And that's why my conclusion is what I told you tonight. The only difference is that back then they delivered them in Humvees. Remember those? Remember the Humvees? Yeah. But these are armored trucks. I mean, Kuwait is smaller. Maybe they didn't need as much, and I don't know how many Humvees they use. But yeah. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. Already, we've been together. What? Too long. How long has it been, Ting?
63 minutes.
An hour already. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do, and thank you, KTFA Premium, you're very kind, but I will also honor you by what you're about to hear. I will have it all typed up for you, Tink will, and we'll put it in archives. Is that okay with you, Tink?
Uh-huh.
Alrighty. It was a long long day. It was a long day, family. And it's a long communication. There's a lot of emotion, too. Now, normally I go back and I read you what happened, the day before. Don't have to. Don't have to. You know the riot. You remember the video I showed you. I already gave you my opinion. So here we go. And yes, once again, thank you to premium members for allowing me to stay here with everybody. Here we go. Now, before we get into this, try to keep in mind the things that I've shared with you up until these, what we've been together an hour. Try to keep in mind what the things I've said to you. If you kept notes as you read this, fill in the rest of your notes with whatever subject matter relates to it. Here we go. Frank, Marty is talking. He came out on a follow-up interview. Actually, you know what, family? Hold on a second. Good God. I just realized something. Hold on. This is super long. I was reading you the middle. Okay, here we go. It starts. This is early in the mornings, okay? We just found the article. Thank you. Tell Eddie thank you too. I will. He called it very early tonight saying that some guy named Tala Mary was on the television, and Tala Mary is saying that the government has no intentions of activating Article 140. He is saying that it's a political thing, and starts at head of the corruption in the government. Our Firefly says that this should be on TV. This should be on TV at this time because this should not be on TV right now because it only adds fire. Hey, Tink, I'm going to take this. My phone is shutting down. It's okay. We can leave that one alone. They never came. He said that this should be, says this should be on TV at the same time. It should not be on TV at the same time because it only adds fuel to the fire. Tell Eddie that he's probably an Iranian giving that opinion, and therefore his opinion has no value except to entice the crowd. Yes, sir, we tell him. Then our reports start this morning around 6. Well, actually, this is the second one, but you can see the time frame, and I'm not going to really go into showing you all, but you can see where we're at with our time. And here we go. Mr. Frank, Prime Minister Mahdi on television earlier today did broadcast live. He went on, he started to ask the citizens, this is Mahdi, to please remain calm. And this was after their prayers. Please, citizens of Iraq, remain calm, saying to them that their demands for the reforms, notice the plural, their demands for the reforms and fighting corruption, are their link. And in other words, that is, I understand what you're trying to tell me. Are their link and hold them accountable. Mahdi is saying that he's holding the government accountable. His government, accountable. Okay. And accountable. However, he says there is no magical solution. There is no magical solution. Mahdi Marty, you told the citizens there is no magical solution. What, are you insane? I can write for you. That just threw fuel on the fire. He said that he will hold them accountable. However, there is no magical solution. You just tore their hope out of their hearts. He went on to discuss about other issues, but basically it was all talk like usual, just talk, and we citizens being interviewed in the streets, we are saying they will not stop until the government is replaced. Oh, the citizens, the protesters, they're determined. They're determined. They're willing to die for their future, for their children's future. And they're not going to stop being in the streets. They will not stop until government is replaced. Citizens on the streets are saying that they are broke. We have no money. We're laughing off. All right. Citizens on the streets are saying that they are broke, while the government officials have millions. That's what they're angry about. They can see the lifestyle. They can see the cars. We actually take inventory of what, we actually take inventory. When we see them, we take note of everything. Their clothing, jewelry. They're saying they are broke. Oh, pardon me. The citizens in the streets are yelling and screaming, saying they are broke, while the government officials have millions. And all these deals that we see on the television with all these other countries and companies, all that money goes to the corrupt, and the citizens never see it. We don't see it. Of course we're angry. And enough is enough. Curfew, still in effect. Military, doing patrol in big trucks, while citizens still, some are disobeying the curfew and are out in the streets. And that's where the problem comes in, because that causes them to be shot at. And citizens are still disobeying and are out on the streets, being arrested. Report today says that over 30 killed, with yesterday as the worst. Sistani is giving his speech. Told you he would today. Because it's a holy day, and he'll take advantage, and he did. Sistani giving his speech, and we will try to get that to you later. Protesters are within blocks of Sistini's house. Even with the curfew, so very unstable situation here. Marty, I can just see the holy man looking out the window like, Marty did not help by saying I haven't read the full report. I'm sorry. I get a little excited. Marty did not help by saying there is no magical solution to the reforms. Why won't government pay us our money? Citizens are tired of being broke and not supplying for our families. Marty promised to come back on the TV and give us an update on the talks with the demonstrations, with the demonstration leaders. We wait to see, but citizens are saying they will not stop protesting. They will not stop protesting until the government is gone. All righty, family. Then I reply and I say to him, thank you. And yes, I am very interested to see what the holy man has to say. Send me his speech and how the citizens are treating him. I want to know more about that from this point onward. I also still feel that on this holy day, that the CBI will not talk, only the holy man, but maybe by Sunday, the CBI will talk. Yes, sir. Yeah, we're still waiting on him. Hours go by. Hours go by. Sir, I text him. He responded. He said less than an hour ago, Sestini, the holy man, said, government must do reforms. He was scared. They surrounded his house. He's like, what do you want me to say? Well, I thought you were such a bat. All right. Sestini government says, now finally he comes out and he says, the government must do reforms, and address corruption, and called the citizens to end the violent protest, saying it was sad and painful to see, and calling for an end to the violence, but saying to the government to do reforms. PM Mahdi still replied back, there is no quick solution. He's stupid. Stop saying that. There is no quick solution here, no quick reforms. This was met with dismay by Sestini. Oh, so the holy man now is acting like, oh yeah, you're not going to give us what we want. Protests cannot be violent, he stressed, and the government must do it. Oh, I said I wasn't going to show you to speed things up. Okay, I'm sorry. Protests cannot be violent, Sestini stressed, and the government must do reforms. Golly, they keep saying reforms over and over again. They must do reforms. I mean, seriously, what are the reforms? If they said reform, we would be saying to ourselves, oh, they're talking about the economic reform. Yeah, that's it. Economic reform, social reform, economic reform. The reforms. What was line number 5? Give us our purchasing power. You promised it. Quick solution here. So reforms. This was met with dismay by Sestini. Protests cannot be violent, he stressed, and the government must do reforms and fight corruption in order to give justice to the Iraqi citizen. His speech was 30 minutes, sir. To which I responded, now that the anger has spilled out into the streets and the citizens have voiced their anger, in my opinion, it is time for the CBI to go back and continue telling them about the lower dinars. The lifting of the value of their currency is the only solution. I am eager to see if there is any more reports today. Tell Eddie I am so proud of him and of you too, Neil. Then they respond about 10 minutes later, CBI not saying a word. Only Mahdi saying, there's no quick solution. Stop saying that. To which I replied, they are not saying anything because they are very busy with the inventory, in my opinion, of the lower dinars that are being distributed to the private banks or that are being kept at a military base, in my opinion. When he's done doing that, I believe that he will come back out and talk to the citizens about the lower notes again. Although he is no longer the governor of the Central Bank of Iraq. So let's see who comes out and talks to the citizens. You never thought of that, did you? Dun, 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 dun. Can't touch me. Good, that's good, Frank. Thanks. We will send this to Eddie. Mahdi, at his press conference just a few minutes ago, he talked, and he says that he refuses to resign. Really, Mahdi? Really, Mahdi? You refuse to resign, huh? It's that Iranian blood inside you, huh? Okay. Mahdi at his press conference, sir, talked and says that he refuses to resign and wants to talk to the citizens and devote Saturday's Parliament session to the demonstrators to the demonstration. Citizens want him and others in the government gone. It's simply all the young adults. Oh, I even told you about this. See, this is a generation of what, like 15 years and below. They've never seen democracy. They've never seen currency of their own. This is pretty cool. So, anyways, Mahdi at the press conference talked, and he says, "I refuse to resign. No, no, I'm not a crook. I'm not a crook." Wrong decade. Refuses and wants to talk to the citizens and devote Saturday's Parliament session to the demonstrators. Well, you're going to talk to the Parliament. You're stupid people. You're Iranian. You're not going to talk to the citizens. You chicken. You chicken. Citizens want him and others in the government gone. It's mainly all the young adults, the new generation. All to which I said, all he has to do is tell the citizens that the economic and the financial currency reforms will soon be given to them. If he says that, then Iraq will prosper very quickly. Doggone it. Eddie says that Mahdi keeps saying there's no miracle, no quick reform. Keep it up, sucker. Hope a lot does it. To which I replied, I said, Mahdi is acting like a coward. It may be time for him to go. To which they said, citizens are furious at his remarks, says Eddie. Yeah, I was furious, Eddie. Yeah, bro. I'm with you. Really? That's horrible bedside manner for a politician, you know. I don't know what to do. There's no solution. Here, shoot me. What? No. God. That's a dumb thing. Dude, you're a politician, man. Lie to them, man. Well, the truth is that you don't want to leave. That's it. Leave. Let the people vote for who they want. Leave. Anyways, to which I said that, they said, the citizens are furious at his remarks, says Eddie. And I said, but I strongly believe that as soon as Alak, or the new governor of the central bank, comes out to talk again, it will be about the smaller notes and the pictures and descriptions. I hope so. Firefly 77 says, reports are coming in again today. Security forces using live rounds into the protesters and bodies are falling. This in some other provinces outside of Baghdad. He will send more. It's on TV breaking news. No, stay away from there. Thank you. They say. These are peaceful protesters, TV says, in reference to what Sistini asked for, and yet security forces open fire with live rounds. Iranians, I say. Iranians are the ones that open fire. He says, has to be. Mahdi admits his failure. Now that's rare in the Middle East. You go to your grave kicking and fighting like a camel. You don't admit defeat. Wow. Mahdi admits. First you got the holy man that says, peace. Oh, shut up. What? You yelled at me? And runs home and he locks himself up. Then they surround his home and he looks out the window and is like, wow. Then the next thing you know, he changes his tone. Oh, Marty, get rid of the government. Yep, right now. But there's no solution to this. I don't know what to do. I'm just confused. You know what I'm saying? Marty, get rid of the government. Get rid of the government. No, no. They want to get rid of me too. Well, Marty, leave. It's either you go or I go. Okay? I prefer you go. Okay? No, I'm not going anywhere. I refuse to go. Well, do something. Okay, we're going to talk Saturday with Parliament. What? It's the same fools that are killing them out there. Okay, well, I don't know. We'll come up with something. Yeah. Marty admits his failure, and that's what he came up with. Wow. Wow. You can't touch this. Marty admits his failure, and he says, I think he's afraid for his life. Marty admits his failure and says, the government cannot meet the needs and wants of the demonstrators. It's just simply impossible. Oh, make it worse. Nothing from the CBI, Mr. Frank, or the electronic billboards today except Marty's speech. But the knucklehead says what? Marty admits his failure and says the government cannot meet the needs. Well, then remove the government, stupid! And the wants of the demonstrators is impossible. You're a freaking filthy rich nation. Anything is possible for your people. God, how much greed, how much money do you need? Anyways, nothing from the CBI or the billboards today except Marty's speech. All right, here we go. I say to them, look, in my opinion, the United States of America should take over the government. Did I say that? Okay, you know what? That would be a good idea. Why not? We put these people in their position. Anyways, in my opinion, the United States of America should take over the government of Iraq until they can put in a government in Iraq without one single Iranian person. To which he said, amen to that, Frank. It's a mess now with Marty saying all this mess. Amen to that, Frank. That it's a mess now with Marty saying all this mess. To which I say, but watch the mess clean itself up the moment the governor of the Central Bank of Iraq comes back to talk about the lower dinars. Mark my word. Right now he's disappeared. Marty disappeared. Stay sloppy, but I'm fatty. Yeah, okay, sniggle, please. Right now, he disappeared. So I said, where is he? Right now, he disappeared. He gone. And then I say, no, for real, look. Yeah, he says, right now he's disappeared. The holy man should take cover too. He said, yeah, they are close to his house. Eddie says that they are reporting on the television that the protesters have surrounded the holy man's house. I said, whoa, let's see what he says later today. Thanks for the report, you guys. I'll be here, stand by, get me, yes, sir. Then it happened later in the afternoon, around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, he hits us with another report. Marty on follow-up interviews now he's out there and he's saying that they will have a parliament shuffle. How's that go, Jan? Yeah, how's it go? Wow, Marty is going to do the shuffle. Marty, shoot, a few hours later, he's like, what do I do now? Well, Marty came on a follow-up interview on the television and saying that they will have a parliament shuffle to make citizens happy, and Iraq will pay a salary to each family that does not have enough money to live off. But he never said that he would give them their own money from oil revenues that they deserve, still saying that he's not resigning. Wow. To which I say, yeah, we heard about that, but I don't know how much they're going to be getting per family. See if Eddie can find that out for us. Okay, we'll do. Then reported that Mahdi's house is surrounded by Iranian Revolutionary Guards. They are protecting him while Iran militants fire into the protesters. This is day 4. So both Mahdi and the holy man are running for cover because the citizens are pissed. And the holy man now, I speak in fork tone. Now he's talking this direction, and he's saying, "Hey, Mahdi, what's the matter with you? Huh? Give them what they want." So report now has it by this was what maybe like 2, 3, about 4 in the afternoon Eastern. Now reports now have it that Mahdi's house is surrounded by Iranian Revolutionary Guards, and they are protecting him. Iranian, isn't it? God Almighty! Oh, you see why you should be so grateful you live in the United States of America. There's no, there's no. There's no greater country than ours. I'm sorry. I know it sounds biased, but here, look at here. The whole world is trying to cross our borders illegally to get in. Do you know of any Americans that are illegally trying to get in another country by crossing their borders illegally? So they're the Iranian revolution, his own people, the Revolutionary Guards, they're now protecting Mahdi around his house while Iran militants fire and kill protesters into the 4th day. To which I say, it sounds like it's turning into a war. To which they say, Firefly77 says that it's all over television. That's all that they're showing now. But then he says that the Speaker of the House, Halabusi, is saying and waiting to hear from Parliament in a few hours to end all issues by protesters. Okay. To which I say, here. Oh, buddy, this is getting good, huh? Let's see what happens, huh? Oh, I'm sorry, our time is up, and I want to thank you for being with us. Get that out of the way. He says, I said, it looks like it's turning into a war. Eddie says that it's all over the TV now, but then the Speaker, Halabusi, is saying and waiting to hear from Parliament in a few hours to end all issues by the protesters. Wow, I said, if they grant him a list, if they grant the list of demands, and one of them being the monetary reform, well, this is good. See if Eddie can find out if they granted all the demands. Roger, okay, on it. To which I say, copy. Make sure Eddie understands the logic of this question. Yes, sir. To which I said, they just announced that they have agreed. To which I say they just announced that they have agreed on 7 of the demands. We need to know which ones. Nothing yet from Eddie yet, sir. Copy. Then, 3 hours later, sir, Firefly called. I texted him about the 7 demands that met. He laughed. Eddie laughed. And he said, Marty is just playing games with us. He gives us plots of land. No, excuse me. Marty is just playing games with us. He gives plots of land to the needy, promising social reforms and public reforms. He wants give payments to the poor who can't afford to live. He will not resign, and Sadar now saying Mahdi must resign and or the parliament dismantle. All going to hell here. He says Mahdi is refusing to leave. Also promised to get rid of proxy, but he's had a year to do this and still hasn't. So Sadar is saying he's got to go. To which I said, understood. Tell him I said thank you. Obviously, the media is trying to make it look like the government is satisfying the demands, which they are not. To which he got 10 days. He said he got 10 days to do the reshuffle of the cabinet and do reforms, but it's a social and public reforms, saying nothing about the monetary reform. That's not good. Mahdi is an Iranian puppet, Eddie says. My business in the market is suffering. To which I say, yes, economic reform only because the Central Bank of Iraq is dealing with the monetary reform. Tell Eddie to notice that the protesters do not attack the CBI or any of the banks, not the monetary reform. They only attack the government. And now I am pleased to see that they are fighting back against the holy man. Ask Eddie if the holy man is Iraq or Iranian. Roger, I'm sending. He said he's an Iranian-born Shiite based in Iraq for years. Unbelievable, to which I said, unbelievable. It seems Iraq just can't get a break. To which he said, I know. The more I learn, the more I see Iran control in Iraq. To which I said, God willing, that will change soon. They said, hope so. Eddie just said that an emergency government will be formed for 1 year. Oh my. I read so many things I forget. Eddie, this is, do you see the evolution, the progress? You see the lava flow of what happened in what? In about 12 hours of time in Iraq? Look at this. This is so valuable because this ain't bullshit. This ain't BS. This is real. This is blood, sweat, and tears. I told you yesterday. Remember? I told you. The citizens. This is. Hope so. God willing, that will change. God, hope so too. Eddie just said that an emergency. Boy, listen to this. You'll read all this tomorrow. And right now, it's just in my opinion. Eddie said, he just said that an emergency government. This must have been the last thing that they did for the day then. Yeah. Because we didn't get any more pings after this. Eddie just said an emergency government will be formed for 1 year to perform business. It's some guy representing the government. Not sure who this guy is. But it's breaking news. We're seeing it on TV. Ask Eddie, will it be with all the ministers? All with completely different ministers, all of them? To which they said, they're saying that they're saying that Tamani, Tamani, they're saying that Tamani will replace Mahdi, Tamani. They are saying that Tamani will replace Mahdi and Saturday will be voting on a new government. Maybe I don't have to use my trump card. To which I said, I haven't seen. Wow. Okay. Wow. Or maybe to which I said, moo. He kept saying that. Wow. Okay. Mom. That sure, oh yeah, look at it. I said, wow, that sure happened fast. You want to do it? Yes, I'm going to do it. Oh, okay. That sure happened fast. And then they say, says that guy is president of, they're saying that guy, whatever his name, Tamani, that guy is president of the republic. Oh yeah, I knew that name. He's one of the three. They're saying that this guy is president of the republic and Mahdi been ordered to lift the curfew back to 5 a.m. To which I said, who gave Mahdi the orders to do this? Who gave Mahdi the orders to do this? And the reason why I asked that is, look what I said, because you see, if Mahdi's already falling apart and can't hold his water, well, then now somebody told him, hey, lift the curfew back. Yes, sir. Who gave Mahdi those orders to do this? Because that would be the person that's now in charge. To which they said, Eddie says all that is from the interview on the television. Let's see if it takes place. I know Sadar called for Mahdi to resign and or parliament dismantled. I saw that for sure. I can back him up. Eddie says, let's wait and see if part-time government takes over. To which I said, copy that. Thank you very much, you guys. Eddie says that he will let you know right away, just not sure if that emergency government will take part, says its interview, but that guy not in government presently. He will be. To which I said, we've been together enough. What do you think, family? That is a very thorough, in-depth report. I pray that it is of use to you. I pray that it's been uplifting and informative and gives you an idea of where we're at. If we take our chart, and we're almost done, by the way. Give me 5 more minutes and we can say goodbye. If we take our chart, we can still see that. I don't have a pen, so there we go. Oh, there. Oh, okay. What, honey? Okie dokie. Yeah, let's go with black. Ready? You grab that end, teamwork, and. Oh, okay. No.
No marking on your face.
No. Draw a card. Look at this. If we go back again on Monday, the last day of Alak as the governor, he tells the citizens, I'm going to give you your lower dinars. Thank you very much. Then on the 1st of October, well, we got protests and the start of pause, I guess. I don't know. And then on the 2nd, the CBI, in reality, because it wasn't a lock, we just recently found out, because we got the article yesterday, and the article said, the CBI is telling, oh, not a lock. That's right, we forgot, they're no more. So the CBI governor, or the CBI comes on TV, and they make an announcement that 12 armored trucks are leaving the green zone, the CBI in the green zone, and going to unknown destinations. Now, today, what's today, the 4th?
Yep.
Okay, so yesterday when we were together talking, we didn't put anything in here because from this point to this point, we're looking to see if the pictures of the lower denoms can come out with the descriptions. Now we said that on Friday there wouldn't be anything. Here, this day itself was what do we put here? We just put well, let's see here. We want this day to go away, so we'll just say it was a day of nada, zero. And today, my goodness. Well, actually, you know what? Not nada. I'll tell you what. It was a day of a lot of people killed in action. Alrighty. So now today we have, which I thought would be a day where you just don't do anything. You just don't do anything. It's a holy day. You don't give them any purchasing power. All right, so they didn't do anything as far as this goes. But what they did do, it looks like, apparently, maybe, possibly, and we'll see what tomorrow's headline says, that Mahdi and his government may be replaced. And when you think about it, how did it happen so fast? How in the world is it? I mean, just that morning they were angry. They were female dogging and they were saying, nope, I ain't leaving. Nope. Now it's like, well, this guy, okay, yeah, transition. What happened? Well, I have an opinion, but I'd rather not tell you. I'll just say, I just simply say, yeah. So, the next day, Saturday, we predicted, remember we said, well, Saturday they're going to get together because the holy man is going to say, let me talk to the protesters. Sure enough, that's what we read. That's what we got from our Firefly. So this coming Saturday, tomorrow, we better see this come in here. We better see this, the replacement of Mahdi and his government, so that the citizens get what they want. And if it happens, well, shoot, that'll be long before the 15th day that they gave Mahdi time to do this, right? You know, we could have avoided this, the KIAs, the protesting, all of that, if somebody would have just told Mahdi to do what they told him to do today. Politics, I hate it. So I'm not moving this frame. With your permission, do you mind if I move this? Let's just move it all the way to Monday. Why not? Here, move that up here. So the pictures of the lower denoms in the description sometimes between 2 days ago, did we miss it? Yeah. And all the way up to, let's say, next Monday when we have our next conference call. And if that's the case, well, shoot, you got plenty of time for them to understand it and then all of a sudden raise the value and, yeah, get it done before that. Because you are going to do their monetary reform. You're going to do the economic reform. And you're going to get the hell out of town because you don't deserve to be there. Because all you're doing is stealing the money from the CBI through the auctions. And you're going to continue to do it the moment that the currency is reinstated. And the President of the United States of America will not allow you to profit from Iraq's reinstatement. Okay? And ladies and gentlemen, that's your conference call for tonight. Loaded. I mean, it was loaded. And now let's see it blossom tomorrow. Hey, Tank, I had 3 that I got from outside. I think I left them out in the front. When you see, I think I left them there. Gosh, where did I put them? As we say goodbye, I would like to ask you to say prayers. We have some friends. Hi, David. Hi, Jean. They are from, if I'm saying this right, Albury. Boy, I hope I'm saying Aluhara Islands. Aluhara. Oh, Aubrey's your last name. Never mind. But here's what happened. You know the hurricane that went by down in the Caribbean, family, Dorian? Well, it turns out that a 23-foot wave washed out about 4,000 people. Things that you just don't really read about, you know. And David and Jean, they have a son. His name is Richard. And they have a place called Camp, I think it's, Camp Bahamas. And it was a Christian millionaire that left this area. It's a sporting camp area. And they do a lot of work there, for God's kingdom. David and Jean's son, Richard, run this camp. But there was a lot of tragedy. The Abaco Islands and the Grand Bahamas were devastated. And this island that I'm telling you about here as well, too, a 23-foot wave washed in and just literally grabbed over 4,000 people. They haven't seen them on land, water, nowhere. It's violent. If you've ever been caught in a riptide, it's frightening. I mean, you're swimming, and it's usually right there on the shore. It's usually just right there, 4 or 5, 10 feet away from the shore. And here comes a riptide. You don't see it. You can see it from the sky looking down, but here comes the current. And as it hits the banks, it has to ricochet back out, boom. And you just happen to be in the water right here, and as it boom, and then boom, and it catches you, boom. It propels you. You're going fast, and you're wondering what's taking me out into the ocean and away from the shoreline. Yeah, riptide. And that's what happened, but this was a gigantic wave. So we say prayers for the people in the Caribbean and for Jean and David and their son Richard that are missionaries and doing a lot of work in that area. God bless you. And it was wonderful to talk to you, by the way, on the phone today. Thank you kindly. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I leave you, I hope, with enthusiasm, with hope. With hope. I always like to show you the flowers. These were one of these was my mother's flowers, rose garden. That bud is awfully, it's just coming out. And that's when I read to you that 1991 Kuwait. I mean, it's just Iraq was just being punished back then in 1991. But as time went by, things got a little bit more. Ooh, man, that's sweet. A little bit more opened up. And it's to the point where, in my opinion, that we have quite a blossoming going on right now. And even though it's a soup of blood, of tragedy, that's why I told you that even a forest fire sometimes is needed. The people that died in these riots, will be long forever remembered by the Iraqi people, because I believe that these riots are going to bring forth what the citizens need. I told you, President Trump would never attack Iran. It's not necessary. They're going to implode. Phagocytosis, I called it. And that's pretty much what's happening to Maliki, the government of Iraq. They are consuming themselves internally to the point where they will simply disappear. And it looks like they were fearful enough, defiant, and with their guards protecting them. But somewhere, somehow, something happened that we'll probably never read about that caused them to say, well, let's talk tomorrow, and we'll replace the whole government. Now, will they do this? Will they do this? Well, doggone it, they better, so I don't have to use my Trump card, okay? Okay. Thank you for being with me, okay? Y'all take care of each other. God bless you. Aloha. Ahui ho. Tomorrow is what? Saturday?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, honey? Should we do a UB2B tomorrow?
We got Q&A tomorrow.
Oh, we have Q&A tomorrow, yeah. I don't even know if you enjoyed this conference call, but if you did, let me know on our forum. And if you didn't, don't say nothing. And then I'll determine if we get together tomorrow. Y'all take care of each other. God bless. Aloha. Aloha neke oikona.